Hello, Anomaly here, and welcome back to another video about my Mistweaver commentary as we move our way through Heroic Nighthold. So today's video, we're going to be talking about Heroic Spellblade Alluriel, I think one of those two. So we're going to talk about that, and like always, we're going to run through the video, check out what I did right, what I did wrong, and as always, these are first kills, so I'll try and impart some of, I guess, what I was thinking at the time as we look in it and see where we can improve. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So L'Oreal kind of passed around here, this center area. We pull her back into one of the alcoves here, and just basically fight her here. So for the first part of this fight, there's not a whole lot going on. There's some tank damage. There's not really a lot of raid damage. You'll kind of see that I don't really do anything. I cast an enveloping on the tank just to start soothing, and I just kind of sit there and soothe on them. I mean, you can do some DPS if you want. You can attack, do any sort of anything like that, but that's just kind of what I do. So here we have the first big mechanic, these Marks of Frost. Since this video, there's a weak lore out there. I'll link it in the description below. But that basically tracks the stacks here. So that's really good to have. I wasn't tracking stacks. I couldn't see how high these guys were. And what I'm talking about is the Frostbite debuff. Basically, it stacks up. As you have Mark of Frost, you'll see it here on my screen. It looks like the icicles to the left on the weak aura. But as that gets higher, you basically take more ticking damage. And I wasn't tracking that initially, so we let some guys get really high, and it became kind of a little bit unmanageable. You see we lose a couple of people to this. So yeah. So other than that, you kind of just kind of healing as much as you can. There's not too much AoE damage until you start getting to these ad phases. As you can see, I get to 20, run into them, clear it, and then kind of just get out of the way. So for these ads, we kind of just group them up and AoE'd them down. They do this like big frost ability. Don't get stuck in it, you'll get stunned. As you can see here, a bunch of people get stunned, which means we all take a bunch of extra damage and end up having to do more damage. So yeah, I mean, right now I'm kind of I have no idea what's going on. So barely get out of that one, don't get stunned. I use Chi Burst kind of just to help the DPS on there. Probably could have ended up using it earlier to save some people. And really at this point I'm just kind of trying to anticipate the damage patterns, right? I'm Manatee and Essence Font there, probably not the best part. If I had to do this all over again, I feel like the fire phase provides a better opportunity to do that. So that's kind of one of the things I think I've changed as we move forward. So at this point, just really trying to utilize our UT procs. I did pop Chi here, which is probably the correct way to use him towards the end of that frost phase. Again, I probably would end up holding him till the fire phase, just because I feel like the damage here, and here's where it's really going to ramp up, is when these ads come out. The major reason being is that the ads do kind of a pulsing AoE. So you can see the raid's taking a ton of damage. I don't have any of my cooldowns up. I'm basically trying to heal people using like un-UT'd Vivifies, terrible waste of mana. I'd throw an Enveloping Mist out for some reason, which is probably not the best use of mana either. And I'm actually not even using my Arcane Torrent at all, which could be a ton of mana back. So as you can see, like these first, particularly for myself, as we go into kind of like the first time we're killing a boss or attempting a boss, at least for the first probably like 5-6 attempts, I just kind of waste mana normally. Don't know really the best way to use it and things like that. So it's something that I need to work on. It's going to be just continue to kind of do what I do when we have stuff on farm, right? When you feel a little bit more comfortable. So yeah, so this is the orb spawning phase. Basically, the orbs kind of follow the raid around. Our revival there probably a little early. The other thing I do is I cast an Essence Font there without Manatee. Actually, I can't cast two. Wow. Before I drink a mana pot and then I Manatee, excuse me, and use Essence Font, which is like just it's not very good. So yeah, so don't do that. And then here, what you'll end up doing is I did use Revival there a little bit early. You probably don't have to use it for the orbs, but you definitely want to use it as these ads get lower. And you'll see that we get a bunch of explosions from these ads because we don't kill a lot of them in time. And Revival probably would have been an amazing spell, like right there, to get people up. Again, I'm holding Chi Burst, not using it, just wasting mana on Essence Font. Not wasting it, but putting more priority on Essence Font, which probably isn't the best way to do. And still haven't used Arcane Torrent, so again, just I think, I mean, ultimately for this fight, particularly with the amount of damage that's going out and the fact that we're kind of trying to anticipate this as we go, uh, just a lot of individual mistakes were made on my part, right? Like, still haven't used, well, there's the first use of Arcane Torrent, I believe, in the fight, if not for a very long time. Definitely could have used it probably sooner than that. And then the other issue is just hard casting Vivifies is really a waste of mana without sort of a UT proc or Thunder Focus tee up. So at this point, I've kind of stabilized myself a little bit with my play, I would say, and I think it's because I've realized that hey, we still have about 20 more percent, or at that point, like 25, 30% more on this boss, and I'm really just trying to kind of hold it together there. So. Um, Here's what ends up happening is I get stuck in here. It's kind of the circle. You basically just don't want to touch the edges while he's casting. For a monk, it's pretty simple. You just kind of run a little bit and everything will be okay. So do work on the tank there. End up having Thunder Focus up, so that was a good use of Vivify there. Finally cast Chi Burst. I believe it was on off cooldown for a little bit there, which was um, not good from my part. So. And the good part about this is the fight ends kind of in an interesting way, so we'll get there. But here for this part, I mean, I have zero mana. Um, I basically try and cast Renews when I can, and use Thunder Focus T on Vivifies and Soothing Mist the person up. And then once I do get enough mana, hit an Essence Font as long as I can hit 6 people, which is the ideal situation, but at this point, just very very low mana. So in our strategy right here, just so you know, is we made the call just to stay on the boss and kill it, which is why none of these ads get interrupted. But with the basically zero healer mana, I did have a revival there, which I think is what ended up saving us, since I don't think anybody else had any cooldowns up. Um, but yeah, I hit revival there and just basically tried to soothing it on the tank, hit the tank with LC, anything I could just to keep us up. And we eventually killed it with, as you can see, like 4 or 5 people up. So. All in all, it's really a lot about it's a fight. It's just a lot about kind of knowing the mana, knowing the damage patterns. I'll talk about that probably on my Croesus video too, when that goes up. In that, if you can see some videos, this is heroic. I think the second or the first day we ended up walking in here in heroic, and there was just not knowing the damage patterns. I think is one of the biggest things from a healer perspective, and I did there, wasted a bunch of mana early, and did end up playing suboptimally just with some of my spell usage too. Being it this is I think our second or third pull on this guy. We ended up downing it, so I wouldn't say it's a very difficult boss, but at the same time, not knowing the damage pattern did kind of hurt me there. So I know that was a lot. Hopefully you guys could follow along. If not, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you like what I'm doing, let me know with a little like, maybe a subscribe. But other than that, you guys have a great rest of your day, and good luck through the rest of Nighthold. So, thank you.